you some background information. This is the first time I've ever tried doing something like this. I think it's a great way to interact with you. So before we begin, I'm going to go ahead and give you a couple updates. One, starting this video, every Friday I'll be posting a new video. That being said, go ahead and leave a comment as a question, and it could be about anything. It can be about work, it could be about Star Wars, it could be about what the meaning of life is. Whatever floats your boat, I'll try to answer it. And leave a comment in the latest Q&A video. So for next week, go ahead and leave a comment in this video, and then for the week after that, and so on and so forth. Whatever the latest Q&A video is, leave your comment there. Let's go ahead and get started. I only have a couple questions this week, so this video will be short, but I hope that more of you will interact with me later on. This one comes from Todd. Are comparisons between Obi-Wan Kenobi and Dumbledore welcome? I'd much rather ask about comparisons between Snape and Darth Vader, but that question is very messy indeed. And I guess I actually haven't really thought about this before, but Dumbledore and Obi-Wan Kenobi actually are very similar. They both fit the archetype of the wise mentor throughout the entire series. I mean, Obi-Wan, if you're going to go from the original trilogy, is the wise old man that pretty much ushers Luke into the hero's journey and prepares him for all the trials and tribulations. And Dumbledore acts the same way for Harry. He guides Harry along, giving him information as he goes along about what is going on between him and Voldemort. So I can definitely see how those two can be compared. However, I do think there's a lot more mystery behind Dumbledore. The reason for that is Dumbledore is just seen as this very old, wise figure for the entire series until we start getting to Book 6 and Book 7. And we don't really get to see too much of Dumbledore's past until that point. So this huge persona that's kind of enveloped him, follows him throughout that entire series, as opposed to Obi-Wan, who at the beginning shows more faults than Dumbledore does. He's just, in some cases, considered just a crazy old hermit. So I don't necessarily think that they're on the same level in terms of how they're presented. Obi-Wan seems a little bit more down to earth and less the all-powerful wise being as Dumbledore does. And then going back and then seeing the prequel trilogy, how Obi-Wan starts out as a learner and as his own individual that's dealing with his own mentor and then moving on from that. There's a lot going on there. So Jedis and Wizards, it makes it really hard, but I mean, for the most part, there are some comparisons, but there definitely are a lot of contrasts as well. I don't want to bore you with the details, so I won't go too far into it. Snape and Darth Vader are concerned, you can definitely compare them. They are both very redeeming characters that you don't really know a lot about until towards the end. You don't realize that they are good. And it is a little bit for a different reason. Like, Snape isn't the chosen one. He doesn't have a prophecy to fulfill. He just is someone who's caught up in a love affair. And obviously Vader is as well, but I mean, for the most part, I can see how the evil personas that follow them and are the completely misunderstood personas that we pose upon them, those can be compared. So thanks for asking that, Todd. Okay, so question number 2 comes from Raven, and she wanted to know what my nationality is. And that's pretty simple. I'm pretty much a white person. I just look a little bit tan, so it throws people off. But if you must know, I am German, and I am also Hispanic. So I do have those two meshed together, and that's what creates me. Let's talk about how you feel about the fragmentation of internet culture that will result from ousting Facebook as the central social media center. Like all these other social media programs that are coming out, like Tumblr, Keek, StumbleUpon, Google+, like all these different places and options for people to go to. And what I have to say about that is, in terms of convenience, Facebook has pretty much all the features that a lot of these secondary sites have. The only thing is, though, is that people like having special programs focused on one particular thing instead of having it all developed in one, because Facebook has gotten very cluttered and very messed up over the past few years. I think it's a positive thing in the sense that you get to choose what you want to use. I mean, technically, MySpace was around before Facebook, and people just migrated over. And there are other social mediums as well. Just didn't really catch on. Right now, we're so integrated into social media that I think that we have a lot of options. And honestly, there are some negatives about it too. It does take up a lot more time, and it does allow for a lot less privacy when you have multiple social engines. But for the most part, I think that social media, I mean, it's something that's going to be evolving and changing, and it's definitely a part of our lives now. But overall, I don't necessarily think that Facebook should be the only one that we have a choice from. Having a choice definitely
is a positive thing in the end.
Those are the questions for this week. Hopefully, you guys send me some pretty interesting questions over the next few weeks and we can really get this thing off the ground. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.